pick and shovel in hand, dirt flying wild. Blood, sweat spilling, dreams of worth untold mile. Eyes fixed on them stones, a glint of gold fire burn. Clawing through the earth, tireless hearts won't return. Red dirt warriors chasing yellow gleam in the sun. Battered and bleeding, but we won't be done. For the families back home, hearts heavy with hope, through ragged dreams and rocky slopes. Mountains with my tales pass through the years. Every grain of sand soaked with dreams and fears. Grit and grim and forging fortune from the rock. Echoes of their struggle ticking like a clock. Red dirt warriors chasing yellow gleam in the sun. Battered and bleeding, but we won't be done. For the families back home, hearts heavy with hope, through ragged dreams and rocky slopes. For that elusive cold, pressing skyward under the star. Red dirt nation driving to get far. Red dirt warriors chasing yellow gleam in the sun. Battered and bleeding, but we won't be done. For the families back home, hearts heavy with hope, through ragged dreams and rocky slopes. Yellow gleam in the sun. Battered and bleeding, but we won't be done.
What's going on, everybody? Red Dirt
going?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming, y'all.
I'm 403 Prospector. That's Prospecting 406 Nick. We got 406 Miner. Our co-host tonight is Joey from the Bronx, Mr. Joe. There he is, Gold Eagle Prospecting. And then we got a special guest this week. He is the miner of 316 mining, and creator of Gold Rush, and Hoffman Family Gold. Legendary Todd Hoffman.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey, there he is.
How you doing, Todd?
Good, man. This sounds pretty bad. If I shared that link on my Facebook stuff, can people click on it and get into our little feed here or no?
I will send you a link right now so you can share it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you guys, are you guys nervous, or what gold do today? Kind of took a hit.
Yeah, somebody told me I have a thing going with the pizza guy down the block. I'm into gold. He's into
when you say thing going, what do you mean?
I mean, no wonder it gets free pizza.
I always wonder why you got free pizza.
He keeps on talking to me about Bitcoin, and Bitcoin went from like 77 up to 104, and gold has been it took a little dip today. It's around 32, 33, but he's that's the thing. I'm into gold. He's into Bitcoin, and he swears by that, and I'm going to stick by my gold, I think.
Heck yeah.
Because the Bitcoin isn't tangible. I can't hold it in my hand. I
can't hold it in your
Yep.
What do you think about that, Todd? You into do you do anything?
And I remember guys trying to get me to buy Bitcoin at $60, and then it went to, I remember when it went to $600, I was like, you guys are nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes me nervous. I do like I like the concept of it though. I really do. I mean, but what worries me about Bitcoin and all this stuff is that I'm watching the I'm studying quantum computing, and I think that someday there won't be any secrets, and that means there's really not going to be a lot of encryption and stuff that you're going to be able to, protect your keys for your Bitcoin. I honestly think that the Chinese are a lot farther ahead than we know.
Well,
And it can bust through all that 256 encryption, which is what your Bitcoin is encrypted with. I don't know.
well,
That
he
makes
was saying that the reason why it took off, it went from it was constantly going down, is because our president has said that our economy, our dollar, is going to be backed by Bitcoin.
Oh,
I don't understand how they can do that, but that's why it took back off up over 100,000 now.
Well, they're talking about a Bitcoin reserve.
Yeah.
And that means, yeah. So, I mean, they're talking about, he's talked about that. And I don't,
Yeah.
To be honest with you, a lot of those guys, especially like, what's his name, Besant, who they're all stock guys, and they're not, when they get in his ear, he's not going to be doing a lot. I don't think he's going to be doing as much with the crypto as you would think. In my opinion, what do I know?
Yeah.
we could all
We're all just
it could all
dudes at the
fall
end of the
apart
day.
tomorrow.
We're all miners. We're not Bitcoin guys.
Yeah.
I'm into the
I
gold.
like the
and
shiny.
the key is to figure out how to get. The main goal is to get a mine, if it's little or big, and find a source that you can go consistently get gold. That to me is like everything. I don't care about all this other stuff, because as you've seen where gold is going, the rest of the world, they've all printed money too, worse than some of them. And I don't think that $30 billion is payable. You can't pay it back. So in my opinion, everything's pointing towards gold, and that what really scared me about the tariff thing with China is that I don't think that the United States knows anything about magnets. Did you send me that link? I'll get it up there.
Yeah,
Huh?
I sent it to your Facebook.
Let me look. Well, I don't know. I can't find it right. Let me look over here. So what I was worried about was magnets. Okay. And that's, you got 120 magnets in every vehicle. So what happened in the early 2000s was the Chinese came in and bought. So I used to sell machines into the magnet industry. And so I watched all my clients, all my customers just literally pack up and leave, And so when you start seeing that kind of stuff, you're like, oh, what's going to happen here? This is not good, And so I watched like one after another, every client go boom, boom, boom. And they would all get like a 1 to 2 year position in China. This is back when they were just kind of emerging, And so I watched all of my clients, disappear one after another. And then I'm like, oh, this isn't good, because all the motors in every appliance, there's 120 magnets in your vehicle. Your ABS sensors are samarium cobalt magnets. Any actuator, anything like your little sensors, man, are all have magnets. There's even little garnet magnets in fiber optics. Well, when you have 90, what is it? 90, there's 90 4% or something made in China, or maybe 4 or 5% made in India. So when they decide to not give us magnets, we're in deep trouble. We're done.
Well, that's one of the things I noticed. I was looking up rare earth elements, and throughout, if you take a global picture of the earth, the majority of it is found in China. Any place else on the earth, you're going to find a little bit, but not that much. But it's all concentrated over there in China. So they got a hold on the rare earth element.
The thing is this: we have lots of rare earths in Canada and in the United States. We have a ton of rare earths in Nevada.
Yes, we do.
The problem isn't that. The problem is you got all this bureaucracy, and it takes 10 years to get a mine going. Yep. That's why Trump was he's trying to fast track all this bullshit so that you can get a mine put in play pretty fast. So that's the problem. But then again, all the guys that used to make magnets and knew how to make magnets are gone. Yeah. They're literally dead or gone. So
they just
my partner was one of the big magnet designers, and they're all gone. They're dead. They're gone. So even if we did want to press magnets again, it's we have a learning curve of probably 5 years to even start.
Easy.
And if we didn't have magnets, if they cut off our magnet supply, we'd be in deep. That's what I thought was going to happen, is they were going to cut off our magnet supply. So
I seen that on a news feed about, they were saying something about magnets, and I was like, magnets, and now you kind of,
Yeah, the rare earth.
It's they're like powders, right? And they're pressed together in these presses, and sometimes they have to put a magnetic field through them while they're pressing these. Neodymium iron, which is like the high powered magnets now are. Then they need to be coated, and they're coated in a epoxy coating, and because air will break them down, and so after they're pressed, then you have to magnetize them. And I had a company that built the magnetizers that would zap these things and get them magnetic, because sometimes you have to put them in places you could not do that with them magnetized, or you'd lose a finger. We were actually at the factory. Joe was there, and a guy cut his finger off right in front of us.
Wow.
He had 2 rings together, right? 2 rings, and he was fiddling with it, and he went like this, and it hit his finger in there, and it just boop, right on the floor.
Wow.
Oh, gee.
Straight off, man.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. No, it was bad.
So there's actually a neodymium project about 30 minutes away from our house here in Missoula.
This thing is, somebody needs to be muted. Who is that?
I don't know whose phone it is.
I got a feeling it's Joe, don't you guys?
It's always Joe.
Is that the pizza guy calling? You know what I mean?
The pizza guy calling. Nice. I'm double checking mine just to be sure. But
all right. So, Todd, what you been up to since we last talked to you?
So I have a mine. I've set at camp on a creek called Too Much Gold Creek, and it's about, I think, 5 miles long, 6 miles long. We're starting out where a guy had left off. He was booted out of there. We came in, cleaned it up. Andy our camps are always really tidy. He put a couple feet of rock over the camp parking lot, and I found some housing in Whitehorse. So I found like a 6 bedroom unit, and then a kitchen unit, and then we moved it in. I picked up a 670 Hitachi. It's a 150,000 pound machine, and the Holy Roller I moved in there last year after extracting myself out of Nome. And then I picked up that 670, had it hauled in. And then I picked up an old 460 that's still got some life left in it, I think. I put a final drive on that one. And then that 670, I think it might need a turbo. But overall, it's been pretty good gear. And then I'm going to pick up a loader, a dozer, and a couple rock trucks. And I think we'll be fully functioning gold mine. I got to build. I'm going to send Jack and Thurber up. They're going to build the cleanup room. And you guys are, if you're in the area, you guys are welcome to drop by. We're actually right off the highway, not far. Come say hi to those guys. And we'll be probably won't be sluicing until probably, I'm thinking maybe July, late July. So we'll have at least a month of stripping and kind of getting ready. Andy's already attacked it pretty hard. We're hoping to do a deal with Esco to get some Esco discount on some Esco teeth because they're very expensive, but they're very good product.
You were talking about those Esco teeth last time we were talking to you.
Yeah, they're good teeth. They were made here in Portland, and I don't know where their foundry is now, but you know, all these leftists here in Portland kind of kept messing with Esco, I believe, and they're a great company. They just make a great product, buckets, teeth, everything. There's other ones too. I've used Hensley's. I've had other ones that are pretty good, but this right now I'm choosing the Esco at this point. But you know, every time you switch out teeth, it's $4,000 or $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I'm not made of money, man. You know,
Not yet.
I was on a 2-bit reality show, guys. I'm not rigging. Good.
I get married in the middle of July, so I think that's my honeymoon coming up to your mindset there with the lady.
Oh yeah. All right.
Well, that'd be super cool.
Well,
to
you
come
guys
in.
are welcome to come up and just kind of let me know what you're doing, and if you have like some kind of place to camp or camper. They gave us this. The neighbor gave us this big. I don't know what it is. But it's a perfect. Oh, it's a big cone for a cone crusher. They're going to use it as a fire pit. So we're going to have some fires. Tell lies to each other, and you know, it'll be fun.
How many sticks can I fit in that box, huh?
Yeah, there you go. I got to pick up a new one of Freddie Dodge's tables and his MSI jig. So if you guys see any of those around, let me know.
MSI jig. Wow.
I think Freddie's going to build me a table, but you know, he's out filming again. He has his show's really cool. Him and Juan. So
right.
I don't know if he's got one ready to go or not, but I got to give him a ring.
Yeah.
So what made you prompt the move from Nome to the Yukon?
So I had that God created mini landslide thing. It was not much of a landslide. It's more of an ooze. And I oozed dirty water, not dirty. It's just brown water into the brown creek that runs brown all year. And they didn't like that. They thought I was killing the wilderness. And so,
yeah.
So I last summer, I just spent the whole summer fixing not only what I did, but everything that people had done for the last 100 years. So nothing had been enforced on that creek. And so I got stuck with it. And so I did it. I literally Andy reclamated the whole creek of Doll. I mean, just everything. So we just went all in, and it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. It was really hard, but you know, it needed done, and I'm on the hook for it. So to un-F myself, I had to just keep working on it. I cleaned the camp up. I did a whole bunch of stuff on there.
Well, you know, good on you.
Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah,
it's not fun, but it's like, you know, if it's, I don't know. I didn't feel very appreciated when I left, and
No.
that doesn't matter. That's just the way it is. You're in a big boy world, and sometimes you get kicked in the balls, and so that's what we did, and we got it cleaned up, made it look nice, and left it
Or,
about 100 times better than when I got there. So that's
or at least one of
Better than
those,
ask for.
hey, thank you very much for doing all of this. You know, that would have,
no, never got that.
you know what I mean? It's,
You won't either. No.
No
well,
good
you know
deed
what?
goes no
We'll
good deed
say it.
goes unpunished.
We'll say it.
So-
Thank you very much.
You know, it's like I got some guys that are loyal. I got some teammates that are. I have probably the best little mining team right now than I've ever had. And so, like, when you give this mission up and you pray about it and you just give it to God and you say, "Hey, man, I'm going to step out on faith and go do this again," and I'm just watching all these little things just kind of fall into place. Yes, we will step on our you-know-whats here and there, but yeah, it's just all starting to like come into place. And so we'll see what happens, you know.
Is your son still working with you?
Creek, if there's gold on that creek, we'll get it. We'll get to it. So
And speaking about faith, you had a post on Facebook about Tater. You know, he's really been coming along and growing as
his faith, his health, he's lost 60 pounds. His
Yeah.
faith, and his marriage. You know, that's the thing when you get around guys that care about those things instead of being around people that don't, you know. The company you keep is a big deal. And so like I think Tater, he's just around some good positive dudes, and like watching him kind of grow and it's just for me that's super important to me. It was never just about me getting gold. It was the adventure with the guys that I'm with, because I know, which a lot of people don't, that you know, I'm going to die and stand before God, and he is not going to really care how much gold I got. Right? Right. So you're like, you know, there's guys out there with a ton of gold, and they're going to stand for the Lord, and he's going to say, I don't know who you are. Who are you? Like, and like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to invest in, if you invest in your faith, you're investing. That means to feed my sheep, to God says, take care of those guys, take care of your people. And that's why, you know, I have, you know, good guys, good mining team. Oh, here comes the dog. It's my daughter.
What was the
Don't
passage in the Bible that said it's easier
yes.
for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than a rich man to make it through the gates of heaven?
That's what it says, you know, and you know that verse. Have you guys heard that? Joe, you ever heard that one?
Have I heard it?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Nope.
Tell him again, Nick. Tell him about
It's
that.
easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to make it through the gates of heaven.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Oh,
Okay, so let me tell you what the story is on that. A lot of people might disagree, but when I went to Israel, and there's a gate in Israel that's real skinny and just whoop, it's a little tiny gate into the city, the old city, and that is called the eye of the needle. And what it means is that verse was, so if a camel had to go through that gate, it had to literally, it could just fit a camel through there. It couldn't fit his packs, his nothing. So it would put his head down and they'd drag that thing through this thing. Basically what it's saying is you got to take and strip yourself of all belongings on this camel and yourself to get through the eye of the needle. I'm being fat. I barely could walk through the eye of the needle. And so I think what he's saying is that you got to peel all your belongings off, because it's not going to matter in the end. And you really have to, you can't, there's zero value in your wealth once you cross over. And that's what it's talking about. You can't rely on your wealth. You can't, that doesn't mean I don't chase gold and money and everything else. I'm not saying that. I want to feed my family and we want to do what's best for our people. But if that's your God, you ain't gonna get through that eye of that needle.
You can't buy your way to heaven.
Exactly.
Nope.
So it's interesting. It's an interesting saying.
Yeah, I've loved
What
it.
the
for a long
first
time.
gift, people say the first gift that Jesus was given was what, Gold.
So Todd, as the creator of Gold Rush, how did you get the idea of Gold Rush, the TV show itself?
So there was these TV producers, Raw TV, little tiny company, and they were trying to do a show on survivalism. So they ran into some pretty big survivalists that we know. And he gave me their number and he said, dude, a real survivalist is never going to go on their show. I said, I know. That's a British guy's idea of trying to do great TV.
Right.
There's a joke out there in the TV world, mostly because I perpetuate it. But if you have a British accent, you're lying. Period. So I'll tell that to those guys. I tell them that, and I tell all my British TV guys that. They don't seem to dispute it with me too hard because they know.
Oh man.
So anyway, that's it, man. I got a hold of him, talked him in after many emails, talked him into shooting a teaser. Finally forced him to do it because I was going to leave. They don't like when I tell the truth. When I show people the truth, they don't like it because it's not the way it was portrayed. So anyways, yeah, and that's it. Came out, shot a teaser. I learned a ton from them. They're the English had a very, very big television industry, Channel 3, Channel 4, and they know how to do television. They just did. And I learned how to shoot TV from these British guys that have been at it for a long time. And very thankful for the college education that I got from them. So I do have a teaser out there that looks like it's getting traction from at least 2 networks, by the way. I'm not so sure I've escaped the actual cable TV world yet. So
in the early Gold Rush shows, when you first got on there and started that, did you ever prospect before, or was that the
I mined with my dad. My dad came home one day and said, Dad, what do you think? You want to go to Alaska and go mining? I'm like 14. I'm like, yeah. And he bought a D8 and we built a wash plant. And we went from Northeast Portland in the city right up to 120 miles north of Fairbanks. And we mined up there. We got maybe 90 ounces in 2 years. That was about it. But we mined. I was up there. We did it. My dad did it. Lived in a trailer, and he didn't have the master planning, and stuff, but he was a go-getter and he did it. And so I always knew if there was a chance to go mining again, that we would do it again. And that's when I was able to put Gold Rush together around our next big launch north. And, it was still tough. It's still tough. If you get up there and you're just like, you just get up there and the water tanks, 5,700 Canadian, this, that, dude, you're just getting hit with bills, $5,000, $10,000. The fuel truck comes with 2,000 gallons. That's every time the fuel truck comes, it's $10,000. It's just like you're bleeding right now. I'm just literally hemorrhaging money. But you do it because you believe in what you're doing and you believe in your team. And so I have a really good team right now. My Facebook stuff is just huge. The other day I did a post with almost 800,000 views on it. So
wow.
Nice.
I loved your one on your TV plant.
Be 1 to 200,000 people are just following just on Facebook alone. And
Is your son still working with you?
no, but he's still working and doing selling some mines, some 43101 mines, and he's doing stuff like that. He's got his brand going, and then in between, he's dating supermodels and stuff like that. I don't know, dude. He went to Miami for 6 months. He said, I went there and visited him. It was kind of crazy, but he's back now, and I think he's doing pretty good. He's still alive.
There you go.
I mean, and he's a conservative. He loves God, but it doesn't mean he's not a wild animal. He's like, I don't know how
All
much
right.
I don't know how much he likes me. He likes me sometimes.
Okay, when we talked to you last, you were, I think, a little bit under like Discovery Contract. Are you under them now?
Nope. No, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done
What's
with any
the
of
good
that.
dirt?
Oh, well, they're struggling. They're all struggling. Networks are struggling. And their advertising is down. Their viewership is way down. So, it's just a tough game. And then you got Netflix banging up against you. And so it's a tough game for Discovery Channel. But I'm in talks with Fox too. Fox is doing good. They have quite a bit of money, but it's just kind of a tough game. This whole TV thing has been really, really rough. Movies in general, Hollywood is kind of in a mess, which a lot of it's fine. I couldn't happen to a better group sometimes when you think about it, but there are a lot of normal people that make their livelihood in this TV business. So it is a little sad to see, but you know what? It is what it is. Hopefully everybody will find their legs and they'll come out with some new stuff, some new shows. But other than that, you know what? I think they're Gold Rush is filming. All the camera guys are up there. I don't know who's doing what. Freddie's filming. I don't know who's doing what, the rest of the guys, but Fred Lewis calls me here and there. I don't care what people say. He's a good dude. I don't care. The truth is you just meet with somebody and talk to them yourself. You'll find out, they're good dudes, who else? What else you want to know about in that world?
So in the past, the 316 has been a real interesting dynamic. You got all like Dozier Dave and Trey and Thurber and stuff. But, we just talked about like you can't take the gold with you, right? So I heard that you're envisioning a sort of a new hybrid project where you're blending your mining expertise and your Christian faith to inspire viewers and promote reconciliation. Is that right? Sort of a kingdom.
So. There's things that you're just never gonna, like Dave and I had a riff for a while, and he saw things one way, and I saw things another, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I wouldn't have done anything different. But you know what? Does that mean that Dave's not a good guy and I'm a bad guy, or I'm a good guy and no, it doesn't. I mean, I rode a lot of river with Dave Turin, and he's a good man, and he's got good, children, and like he's done amazing things. But Trey's not a bad guy either. He's a rough animal, the guy that punched Dave out. No. So like there's fights, and I would love to see reconciliation and a lot of that stuff. But some stuff you have to just say, hey, I forgive Dave, or Dave has to forgive me. That doesn't mean like we got to get together and cry it out. I mean,
there's going to be head-butted no matter what.
I tried to reconcile a little bit with some of those early guys like Dorsey. He got mad at me. There's just, you lose a lot of lot of friends in the reality world. You add TV onto things and everything gets weird, you know. So it just gets weird. But you know what, dude? I mean, I'm not perfect, and definitely, if there's something I need to apologize for, I try to do that. You know, if I can, I would like to do that. But yeah, all that. But you know what? It's just water under the bridge. Everybody needs to just get over it. If there's any rifts, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
Okay. Well,
So
As far as my faith, I'm gonna be filming up there. I don't even care if it's, you know what, people don't care if it's iPhones. I was even thinking about using those Meta glasses and try to do some live streaming and stuff.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if people embrace that, but I have 4 Starlinks already at the mine. I have Starlinks in the excavators and stuff. Andy could with Meta glasses right now could sit there and stream live to you guys on how he's digging the creek, how he's doing it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean that might be nobody's doing that, right? So
No.
That's new.
Maybe we need to rethink this a little bit. But I definitely want to go up. I want to figure out how to make some money at it to hire some teammates to film it, but maybe there's just not a lot of money in that type of streaming. I don't know how to do it very well. I mean, we could charge us.
We all work cheap over here. We all work cheap.
Yeah.
You guys all retired? What are you doing?
No, we can move.
No, I'm a carpenter. I'm not retired, but I'm cheap.
Are we talking pizza guy cheap, or what are we talking?
Hey, I'm a welder. Does that help?
Maybe. I'm probably going to bring a guy that can film and that we can really put the pieces together so everybody can see what we're doing step by step. I want to go through the numbers, what it's cost me, the paperwork, the creeks. I have a mine owner that's kind of an interesting guy that I really like. He's got a cool little family and I don't know. I feel like something's gonna happen, something special is gonna happen, but I don't know. You know, I really want to film and I want people to know about our faith before we croak, you know. I know my dad does and I do too, right?
Well, the viewer would like to see those details, you know, the stuff behind the scenes, the smaller things you don't get to see normally on these shows where they're like, well, we showed you that like 10 years ago. Why do you care anymore?
Yeah.
Those are the things we liked when you guys were on the show, when you guys were pushing
it. Oh, yeah.
Taught us how to do this.
Well, let's rethink this thing and let's bring this back to basics, because I mean, I literally have between 1 and 200,000 people following these stupid videos that I'm putting up, and they're dumb videos. They're not that big. That video with Esco is 800 or 900,000 right now, like putting teeth on, but they're different looking teeth, and people are like, huh, right? That's so like, cool. Let's talk about the like today. That video that Tater sent me is very interesting. I mean, not a lot of people haven't seen a turbo sitting on the shelf, right? I'm gonna see if I can find it. Can I share? Can you have me share or no? Is that something?
Yeah, I would wear a pair of Meta glasses and show people how to structural weld, or you know. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing that I think guys like. Let's take this back to the things that we want to do and show people instead of so much of the bullshit, you know, and you know,
show them here, watch the puddle wiggle, you know, make it move this way and hold it here for. Oh yeah.
There's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to welding. I got my welding endorsement in college.
I was an underwater welder for 10 years.
Well, you didn't want to do it above water.
Well, underwater sounded more fun, and I made money. Nothing better than electricity and water.
Can I share it? Let's see. How do I do this? Present.
Yeah, present.
All right, I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Who knows?
Who knows? He likes the short bus. That one there.
He's our short bus driver, Todd.
Oh, gotcha. Oh,
he collects us all and takes us where we're going. Yeah.
We're all in the
yes.
All righty.
When he joked about the sticks in a box, he's not kidding. He really did try that once, and it didn't turn out well.
Seriously.
Anywho,
okay, I have a video that I would like to put on here.
You have it on your page already, or
not yet? Let me see here. I'm gonna. Let me say it. I'm gonna send it over to my. Okay. Here it is.
Yeah. Does Todd have any gold coins?
Yeah, the only one I can see is your feeder, and I'm trying.
Can you see this? Can you see this?
No.
Go to present and share screen.
Okay.
Unhook the rod to the.
And then click on the video when it comes up
This
there.
is not actuating fully either direction.
It's kind of interesting. Hang on.
After getting it apart and looking at it, it's my
I hear
determination.
Sandra.
I was able to free it up with using oil.
So he if you look at this thing, I'll show you in a second. Let me get it.
Slop, where it's worn out, where it rides. And it was finding it
Super interesting.
penetrating oil to get this to move freely again. I'm afraid when it dries out, then it will just start binding again because of the amount of play in it. Having it free now, this fix might work for a day, might work for a week, might work for a month.
And yeah, I heard that when I was making a run for the creek, and the sluice box got me.
Or
do I share this? Present this video file. How do I do it? How do you share your screen on here?
So you gotta go.
When you hit the share screen, you should see.
I don't know where the share screen button is.
It should be at the bottom when you hit present. Do you see the present at the bottom?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Share screen. I'm always nervous doing this. Okay, this one right here.
Well, I'll remove you right away if anything else comes up.
Okay, you see this? Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Now we got it.
Okay, that's the turbo out of a 670. So 670 Hitachi. And if you look at this ring right here, let's go. Let's play it. Can you hear this?
The 670 Hitachi is running an engine code. The engine code determined was a variable geometry turbo issue. Unhooked the rod to the actuator and determined that this was not actuating fully either direction. After getting it apart and looking at it, it's my determination. I was able to free it up with using oil, penetrating oil. But the determination, I believe, is what we've got is slop, worn out,
Yeah.
and then it was binding it up because it took penetrating oil to get this to move freely again. I'm afraid when it dries out, then it will just start binding again because of the amount of play in it. Having it free now, this fix might work for a day, might work for a week, might work for a month, but the inevitability is that we are going to have to either replace a complete turbo or, if possible, replace just the hot side, the actuator section of this thing.
Wow.
So I will make a couple phone calls and look into that.
What do you think of that?
Oh, that's
Looks
awesome.
That
expensive.
was cool.
Yeah, so that's a turbo on a 670, boys. There. So that's what's happening. That just happened about 2 hours ago. What is time? Is
Ouch.
3 hours ago. A new one, 7,000.
And yeah, that was going to be my next question is what's the price tag on one of them now?
So a final drive on a 460 is 18,000. I found a used one for 9,000 US. I called my boys over at Portland Tractor, and they literally they sent me one. It's already heading north for $5,000.
Oh,
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of it is going to be relationships and things like that. It's fun when you can travel back across bridges that you don't burn, right? So
Right.
like I got a buddy up there. My team stayed with him. They've stayed with him until about 4 days ago. So they've been up there almost 3 weeks or a month, staying 3 guys at his house. And we're friends, and I don't have a lot of friends. So to have a man like that, to have like people like that, they know we're going to carry our weight. He had some things to fix. My guys worked on it, but it's like just being a trustworthy, person is nice. And so you do your best to try to have, so I'm able to come back into the Yukon, and I still have a lot of good connections up there. So anyways, that's it. So that we're going to replace that. Now, that same guy says, hey, why don't you borrow my D8? I mean, how many people will loan you a D8?
Yeah. Just right out of the blue. Just, hey, here.
Not many.
Yeah.
So so I'm gonna take this D8 and I'm gonna see if it's heavy enough. It's an 8L. It's a D8L dozer cat. An 8L is a little bit bigger than a normal 8. And so hopefully it's got the weight, and it can pull a ripper up through that little creek that we're working on. I think a D10 is too big, but an 8 might do the trick just for these little creeks, because it's kind of tight. You're only 50, 60 feet wide. Think about it. You're just stripping, just a little pace streak, and you're just going up along the creek. And
so it's not permafrost or any of that.
It's been frozen since the flood.
Oh,
hard.
Okay.
But that's right in that mud too. You'll find mammoth tusks and other things. So,
oh, awesome! I was just going to ask if one of the oldest things you've ever found was mammoth tusks or mammoth.
Dude, I found something really weird in Nome. Not this last summer, the summer before. We found a caribou antler that was so deep. So you got all that frozen mud, so probably 12 feet of that. And it was down in the gravels. So It got washed in there during the Great Flood. And then all that mud settled on top. And because the water canopy wasn't there anymore, you had a flash freeze come down from the north. And so you had, but we found that caribou antler was a very, very, very old caribou.
Wow.
And I was hoping to get it carbon dated, but I couldn't get anybody to do that, but it was deep. We've never found anything that deep, an animal part that was that deep.
Where is it now? Do you still have it?
I got it sitting up there, up in Nome. I don't know. Maybe I brought it home. I can't remember. But I have, several tusks. I don't know what we're going to do with those. Over the years, the last 10 years, I've stored up a few. There's a guy that's got a really cool website. What is it called? He does the woodworking, Black Diamond or
Blacktail Studios.
Blacktail Studios.
Oh.
I love his work.
That guy is right by me, and he did a mammoth tusk.
Yep.
So I've been kind of texting back and forth with the guy, and I'm thinking maybe he goes, well, it's got to be a bigger payoff for the audience than the last tusk I did. And I looked at his last tusk, which it wasn't bad. I mean, it was a big one. It was probably about like that. But I have a granddaddy tusk that's 9 feet long, probably this big around all the way down. It's big, huge.
Oh,
It's got this blue color patina on it, man. It's pretty sick. Yeah, real cool. We'll see. Maybe I do a deal with the Blacktail guy. I love how he does TV and the stuff he says is like, if you don't like that, you can F right off. Like he just kind of like matter of fact, you can tell the guy's super smart, right? I don't know. I've never hung out with him, but like you could tell he's like pretty gifted at what he does. Fun to watch, you know.
Yeah,
that's why he's got
good videos.
Subscribers. Yeah. He's right here too. There's a lot of guys out here that do this stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's a popular area of the Pacific Northwest and all.
Yeah.
So
anyways, what else cooking, guys?
Well, lots of stuff. Oh. No, but there's a lot of us out here who we like to do this, but we don't know how to maybe grow it from here, or maybe we want to grow it from here. So what advice or where would you tell somebody to start if they wanted to?
So like I have a little wash plant right here in my yard. It's a 4-foot trommel. It'll do 40 yards an hour. Right. I would get together with your guys and start putting your gear together. Yeah. And then you're gonna need an excavator. You're gonna need some stuff, right? But if you want to go up north, there's land up there. If you want to go up there, or if you want to stay local too, or you can just stay super small. I mean, just depends on what you want to do. But I always seem to keep crawling. The size I have now, like 4 or 5 guys, that's just perfect. Like I don't want to ever go big. But my wash plant will do whatever you can throw at it. Like I can do 300 yards an hour. I can't manage 300 yards an hour. I can manage 200 yards an hour. Right. So, that's the thing. It's the prep, the strip, knowing how to move the dirt. We've just done it so much. And you guys are welcome to come up. Yeah, when we get going, you guys are welcome to come up and see like how we scratch the payout. If you look at the 2 buckets that we will have a cleanup bucket that's got a flat edge on it. So we're scratching it flat, Right. The way Andy keeps the cut tidy, and that way we move the payout to the plant. And how Dakota runs a plant. Dakota will watch the hydraulic ripples and the poundage, the water poundage on the hydraulic nugget traps, which are way superior to sluice boxes. I don't care what anybody says. They're just hands down. There's a new design in town, and like one of the guys shared with me how to build them, and that was it for me. Once I built them and put them in, that was it, dude. I use a sluice box only at the end of those. In case something goes wrong with those, I still have a sluice box to catch any gold at the end. A little bit of sluice at the end.
Was that a Freddie Dodge idea?
No,
no,
it's not. This is Yukon guys. It's like picture like a half pipe, right? And a water bar, a square tube, but turned diamond shape down so here's your water trough, like think about like an 8-inch trough, right? Okay. Yeah, the water at the top of that water bar is welded a little riffle, like a riffle coming off.
Yeah.
You have a square tube with the riffle coming off. So
Jeez, man.
what's that? Along the bottom of the tube, the water tube, every couple inches, you have a hole drilled and alternating. And so in that trough, you have water that's being injected down into the bottom of that.
Oh.
And so the material comes up over that riffle that's on the water bar, comes on the back side of that. It hits that back side of that nugget trap, and all it is just loose rock.
Right.
And dude, it catches that first one catches 90% of all your gold.
Oh, God.
And at the end, you have a valve. So think about doing cleanup. You pull the water bar out and you wash all that first riffle right out of nozzle at the end. Instead of getting your sluice box, taking your riffles out, pulling the carpets. You don't have carpets.
Right.
You don't need any of that. And so like it is the water that you're injecting in needs to be fairly decent clean. And it needs to be about 5 to 7 pounds of water. So you have little gauges, you have a water manifold. And once you figure all that out, it's like these nugget traps are like far, 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 far superior to sluice boxes.
Wow.
How many of those would you have on? Do you have gold?
I have 3 rows of those. 3 rows. All of one of my 16 feet across or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that
then I put my sluice box after that, and I don't change it out. I look in that first couple riffles just to see, hey, I see a little gold. That means something's going wrong. But when it comes out, you still do Freddy Dodge splitting, so that you have 4 chutes that drop the material out onto the. Then it starts to come out like this and spread out, and then it goes across your 1, 2, 3 nugget traps, and then onto your sluice box. Once I get rolling and everything, I'll have in-depth videos of all this, and plus, if you guys ever get up there, you can come watch and
that'd be cool.
check it out.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Did you get that distribution box from Freddy Dodge, or did you guys make it yourself?
which we built those in Sandy. I have the blueprints on them. Nobody has the blueprints on them. I put them on CAD. I have them on CAD. I can call right now the steel shop and say, give me 3 of those made.
Jeez,
So like they won't just make them for people because it's not their design. In fact, he turned somebody down the other day.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah. They called me. Hey, can I said, let me think about it.
One of our viewers is asking, what is the largest piece of gold you've ever found? And do you have any that you can show?
I don't have any gold sitting right here, but I sold the biggest probably nugget I can't, maybe 1/3 of an ounce.
Oh.
I did have that big potato nugget. That one I sold to my buddy, wanted it from Dragonfire Tools. He has the potato. He's in possession of it now, and it's almost a 9-ounce banger. Big old
Wonker.
Cool.
Wow.
Huh?
Full size.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
You carry that around to show people and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I think, plus I'm building a mine and I got to put all the money into that and trying to keep everybody fed and somehow try to stay married in the middle of the thing.
Yeah. We got another person in chat. Have you ever considered selling some pay dirt?
You know what? I think, this place that we're going to, I would never sell pay dirt unless it was really good. So this place I'm going to right now, that Too Much Gold Creek, I think I could do that if some people wanted it.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Would you sell
you guys come
like
up
a
and
guaranteed amount or just unsearched pay dirt?
it's up to you guys. Whatever would be best.
No. You're the one selling it. It's your product, man.
I've never sold pay dirt. You tell me.
Well, I mean, everybody likes pay dirt in general. Obviously people like seeded pay dirt, but unsearched stuff too, even if as long as it's not super expensive, they'll buy it. People always love the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
I would.
You got some there. What is that? Whose is that?
This is from Kayla Johansson on Whitewater.
She has pay dirt.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Doe, the blue doe or the Peking doe.
Peking doe.
So how much was that bag of dirt?
Well, I believe it's I bought it maybe a year ago. The price has gone up significantly, but this was like maybe $75, and it's guaranteed maybe a half a gram of gold in there. There's other ones. This is a quarter gram bag of pay dirt from somebody, Mad Dog 555, one of the YouTuber guys over here. So there's quite a
and they guarantee you X amount of gold in it.
Yeah, most of them guarantee a half a gram plus, so you might get 0.6 of a gram, which is and then a lot of people on YouTube do the ROIs, the return on the investment. So if it costs you $75, you get 89% ROI, which is pretty good, because none of us are going to get rich basement panning. It's just a hobby. I'm from New York. There's no place for me to get any pay dirt.
Well, what if we did?
I've gone.
What about? Don't you guys want to come show up and fricking do?
Of course, I'd love to come show up.
Be fricking on the set.
That was going to be my next question. If you want to smell
the dirt, the grease,
the 5 gallon bucket diesel,
and hear the friggin' generator and
absolutely
smell the coffee in the morning, and then we go out.
I was down in North Carolina where we ran a wash plant down in North Carolina, which was a nice experience for me. You know, but that was going to be my next question. If we flew up there to Alaska, we would just have to fly into Dawson, and you're right there. That's not too bad. It's not
really nice. It's really nice.
You could fly.
Why don't you guys all brainstorm a way that we can make money at this for everybody, but not charge too much where it's not possible. We want to make people's dreams come true, but I can't have 100 people. We got to kind of have this kind of an organized situation, but
organized chaos.
Well, Nick up there at the top has done his own pay dirts, and he's pretty good at it.
Gold panning events through the Rock Club here. I'm the president of our Gold Club, so I'm always organizing with people.
And where are you out of, Nick? Again,
I'm in Montana, in Western Montana.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I live about 2 miles from him.
There's a couple ways to do this. You got to fly to Whitehorse, and they always get you in there at night so that they make you stay in one of their hotels. And then the morning, but there's guys that I know that you can rent a truck. And you can just land, get in your truck, and drive, to Dawson. We're literally close enough where a guy could stay in a hotel and then come to the mine for the day. I've never been this close to town. I mean, I can see a power pole running by.
Shit, we camp.
But you can't see us. You can't see our camp, and you can't see us. We're up in the hills. but we're not too far away in case you want to get. I mean, we're literally 10 minutes from getting gas. There's actually one of those card lock pumps at the Dempster corner, and you can get fuel for your truck.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's nice.
But anyways,
Sounds
it's
some
got a
brainstorming
cool
needed.
it's got a cool camp, and we've spent some money on it. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's an opportunity. I'm open to whatever, man. I want to reach people. I want to meet people. I want to do whatever I can. And even though it's not like some big old fancy bullshit, it's like I'm not in that phase of my life anymore. I never cared that much about it to begin with. So to be honest with you. Yeah, I like the money, and I extracted as much out of them as I could. But
since the last time we had the interview with you, me and Travis have been kicking around the idea with the open invitation to come up there to your camp, and we've been talking about it, and it seems more feasible now.
Yeah, well, especially when I kind of know where I'm going to be plunked down for a while. There is a mine that's on my list, and it is super remote. It's big, super remote. I got it tied up, but
I'll even bring you.
That's going to be a lot harder to get to. It's 150 miles from Dawson, so
that's float plane.
No, you can drive there, but the road needs to be fixed to get in there.
It's that hold my drink and watch this kind of road.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
that's a rough spot there. But this mine here, we might be here for a while, so it might be. You know what? It's like once I start get the plant set up and I start getting gold, then I'm going to be like, okay,
right,
here we go. And then
once you get things figured out,
then it gets fun because there's like 10 miles, 12 miles of this stuff right there. So, and if you've looked at our yard, we have a lot of room. We could take in some visitors and stuff like that. But it needs to be done in like maybe somebody like you guys or like a Nick that can kind of like somebody that's good at organizing. I'm a horrible
yeah, me too. I'm not a great.
I haven't talked to guys in my wedding.
These two.
Since they were
above me.
I'm not a good pal, man.
I'm the dumb one who crawls in small holes and just gets shit done. These guys organize things.
Yeah.
Try.
So I have Bedrock's asking through the years, who's not with you now and that you miss the most?
James Harness passed away. He was my very first mechanic.
Yep.
He had so many, and I probably told this story before, but he had so many injuries. He came to me and he said, I think I'm going to kill myself.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, no. And he's like, he goes, the pain. He's got fused things in his back and fused things in his wrists and his knee, and his ankles. It's like everything. And so I said, well, I'm going to do this TV show, and why don't you go with me? And I said, why don't we just get you all liquored up and get you drugged up? I mean, I didn't know what else to do. Because he literally, the only way to get through his day was to drink a fifth of Evan Williams and Jack Daniels and pills and his prescription pills.
Wow.
And I know that sounds bad, but it's like we extended his life, and he actually became, a TV guy, and he got to do some cool stuff, and he had a DUI. So when I crossed him through the border, I had to pay a deposit on his dumb ass to get him through Canada. So I had to pay $3,000 to get him into Canada, and I had to make sure that he left or I'd lose my money.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, he just was but like, I had some really, he's really fun to be with. Like, just, he's like an old rocker guy. And so everything he said was just like, oh my gosh, that's straight 70s, man. Like, just, so it was just fun. You know, it was fun. And I miss him. I do.
Yeah, I watched him a lot with you guys, and it was just like you could see, you know, he just didn't move the best, but he was just powering through it. Well, maybe with some help, you know.
I remember that one summer he goes, you need to keep Dorsey away from my camper because I'm gonna shoot. Yep. I'm gonna shoot him right through the door if he knocks on my door.
Yeah,
and I'm like, ooh. So I would tell Dorsey, dude, stay away from James. Just don't talk to him. Don't look at him. He wants to kill you. So just stop. Just stay away.
There's reality TV.
James would say stuff like that. He was always on the edge. You know, he was an outlaw. You know. But he was friggin' good company. He's one of those guys who, like, you could just sit. He was just hilariously good company. Guys I got now, right now, I got this little guy named Cowboy Carl. I don't know. He made the show a little bit last couple years ago, but he's like a little cowboy. Like, he ropes when he's not with me. He's roping, you know, and. You got Andy's my foreman, and his son Dakota's probably they're our best miners. And then you got Tater. He's an operator, but he's just a spectacular bush mechanic. And then, you know, with that, and then in the cleanup room, you know, you got Jack and Thurber. They're going to be doing cleanups, and I'll probably have my dumb ass out there in a machine or doing whatever I need to do. Probably holding an iPhone, filming for you guys. I don't know. We'll probably pick up another
executive producer.
Yeah, I'm a producer, man. There is a show that might get picked up. If it gets picked up, I'll be gone in August or September for about a month. So, and you guys are going to absolutely shit your pants if it gets picked up.
Oh, awesome.
Well,
every adult needs to do that at least once in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super insane. Like, super insane. Like, nope. Like, I have some access to some shit that nobody has access to. Like,
Uncle Jimmy just, Todd gave us most of us hobby miners our start. I bought my first pan and bag of pay dirt during the first season of the gold rush.
Wow.
He just wanted.
Yeah, man. Yeah. A lot of guys call me and they say, hey, you know, me and my dad watched the show together. He passed away, but it was really, I just want to tell you thanks because it was something that we got to do Friday nights together. We got to share that. We had a lot of good memories together. Dude, what's better than that?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
What is, like, come on, what's better than that? Like, when people say that stuff, it's like, that's pretty cool that God would bless me to have a little part in that, you know, in my life. And my dad was little when he grew up, and he'd been in a lot of fights. Jack used to fight a lot. Like, and I think it's because he was little and he got picked on a lot. And my dad was always like, and it was really cool that later on in life he got to become Gold Rush Jack, you know, like my dad, people got to see what he really was about in his heart and how special of a person that my father is. And so, like, that kind of thing, to be able to, as a son, to kind of help people make money and get careers. And, like, you know, I found Freddie off the internet, and, you know, Dave was my neighbor, you know, was from my town. And, like, to be able to help guys and to be able to expose good things in people too is really cool. The TV always wants to try to put the shit in there for views, but the good stuff, man, is the good stuff and the good-hearted people and that kind of thing. That's what always has been the funnest part for me.
How old is your dad now?
What's that?
How old is your dad now?
He's 79.
Wow.
79.
His trailer is all ready to go. He keeps calling
That's
Andy.
amazing.
He's like, your dad keeps calling me. He goes, I'm just stripping. I'm not ready for your dad. Like,
Yeah, he's all ready to go.
oh yeah. He's like, would you get me out of here? Because my mom's got him doing all these little things. And
The honeydew list, huh?
so like we have this little wedding venue and we had a Mexican wedding and they threw all this confetti all over the grass. So I saw my dad out there picking up confetti this morning.
Oh, jeez.
I know for a fact all he's thinking of is get me out of here. You know, he's got all the honeydew stuff, you know.
How much of the show, the Gold Rush show, that we all remember it the way it was, but how much of it can you tell us? Was any of it scripted, or was that you do what you got to do and they left you?
Probably 20 or 30% is bullshit.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
Some of
I
it's
filmed,
some of it's bullshit. Some of it's real. No, Parker and I, we talk once in a while. No, we're not really that. We're acquaintances. Looks like a question about Parker. He's a fantastic gold miner. He grew up in it. He's just smart. He's got a ton of gold, and like as far as gold mining goes, he's like the real deal.
Nice.
So's Tony Beats. He called me the other day.
That's one guy I'd like to meet one day in my life. You
should go up there and meet him, Tony. And so in the winter, he's down in like Surprise, Arizona. You can kind of run into him maybe down there. Tony's always been pretty good. I remember the first time I saw Tony, I said, I'm going to put him in the show because of, he's just a wild animal, and like, he's one guy that's always, always recognized, that hookup, he gets it. Like he actually really got it. Like he's very thankful for that exposure. And it's been a blessing for him and his family. Like, look, to this very day. I worry about Rick. I don't know what's going on with him, but obviously he's talked about it. He was in, the throes of an addiction that's rough. So
yeah,
hopefully they're not just filming him and just trying to get views out of the guy, and they
exploiting the.
I feel like it's just a huge exploitation at this point, but hopefully he's okay. And hopefully if he needs help, he gets it. Cause he's not, I don't know him very well, but everybody said, hey, this guy's a good dude,
Well, he seemed like it.
Everything I've seen that he's a pretty good dude. And so who knows, man, you know what, dude, we're all sinners and we all need help at times.
Yes, we are. We've all fought our demons.
My friends and family always said I needed to be there. This is Steve. I have sent lots of drawings out to guys. One of my drawings people know is Mega Dredge from the Bering Sea Gold show.
No.
I'm not sure what he means by that. Tom Ranke called me. I talked to him the other day from Bering Sea. Emily Rydell, I know her and her husband. Who else is out there? Fred Lewis, I talked to him not that long ago. Dakota Fred, I got a chance to talk to him before he passed away, and we'd always chatted. I hired Dakota Fred. Matter of fact, I got paid an immense amount of money to help start that show or help seed the show. Okay. Hundreds.
Okay, well, here we go with like Bering Sea Gold. Why didn't you or your mining company, what is it, 413 Mining, go up and dredge in the Bering Sea? I was just wondering.
So far, the guys that are getting the gold are the guys that have the underwater crawlers. I don't want to put their name on here, but I know a couple of them. And then there's another guy that went up there. His name's Rudy. he's not on the show, but he just dropped a straight pipe down, just like they dredge in the jungle. He dropped just a straight pipe straight down, and it just goes right along the bottom and sucks
Just
it right
wiggling the boat around.
Rocks about like this, pulls him up through this steel pipe. Unbelievable.
That's wild.
And he does pretty good. No diving, just drops a big old pipe down like this. It goes down and it sits on the bottom with this big basket and just a big vacuum cleaner. And it's been fun to watch him. Matter of fact, he's running my sluice boxes, but he kind of built them himself. I don't know if he did it right or not, but
well, I was just wondering, I know you guys have gone, to other places, and it kind of would be, you're up in Alaska now, and maybe a shift to the Bering Sea.
I'm in Canada, but you know what? The Berings, I would do it. I just haven't done it, and there's guys that have ships up there that are going up there all the time. Matter of fact, another ship is running those. When I say that design, it's not really my design. I got shown that design by some guys. I'm not going to name their names, but matter of fact, one of them came down and we drew them out together at the steel factory. So like this is a Yukon gold,
only
hardcore gold mining Canadian dudes that came up with this design. Nothing's mine. I'm not going to try to take credit for nothing in this world, really. I try not to, but sometimes yeah. So anyways, those nugget, they're nugget traps. They're not hydraulic riffles per se. They're like a big half pipe. But they just catch so much nicer, and it's the cleanup is fast.
We know a really good geologist if you need one. You just call Rock Butcher. We can give you his number.
Yeah. So, Jim is asking, do you ever use services of a geologist to help you with your projects?
Nope.
You know what? There's a guy named Jeff Keener, and he is a really good geologist, and he's up all over Alaska, and he'll come up into Canada, and I really like his advice, and I've gained a lot of knowledge from him, and he's just a quality person, But yeah, he actually mines too, so he kind of knows. But yeah, I do sometimes bring a geologist in, but a lot of this is freaking. You just got to dig it up and go for it and see if you get. I had that one cut set aside. We got 1,000 ounces out of it, but it proven out and drilled out at 3,000. Well, when we got down in there, the drill holes did not show that the old timers had scraped the absolute shit out of that cut. And when I started stripping, we were running into cavern after cavern full of ice. And we're like, but you couldn't tell because there was no tailings anywhere. I don't know what happened, where they dumped the tailings in the creek and they got washed away. There was no entrance holes. There was no mine shafts. It just looked like a hillside, just perfect. And then you strip down, and the old timers just scoured that place.
Oh, wow.
And it was really rich. Even we still got 1,000 ounces in a cut that went to shit. So like today's price, guys, we're at $3 million. So anyways, sometimes. And the drill holes did not prove that. The drill holes did not show that. The drill holes showed consistent gold throughout that cut. And literally half the cut had been scoured by the old timers, just been in there.
they found the best spots and beat you to them.
They really did, man. They just hammered them, and we were finding all kinds of stuff. So that changed our overburden pile. So you go from dirt that was sitting in a pile to dirt that had ice content, so much ice that when I did get this anomaly, this hot weather, that's what helped cause this ooze into the creek. Was that? It's because I was friggin' I had ice from all their friggin' tunnels everywhere. Like, it was unbelievable. They were in there like for years. They must have been in there a long time.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned Sean Pomeranke had called you up the other day or last week, whenever. Didn't he? I heard that he moved his operation inland. Is he doing inland mining now?
He's doing inland mining. He's doing really well. He picked up all that Komatsu gear that I had up there.
Cool.
He was able to buy all that, several $1 million, and he's up there. I think he's going to have a kick-ass year. I'll bet he does a lot, thousands and thousands. Nice. Yeah.
Is he in Alaska or is he in the
Yukon?
Yukon?
He's in Nome. He's out on Klondike Gold's land out there. I know those guys too. They're all real good dudes. So he's out there going at it. And I know he's got a couple big old 475 stripping and maybe two of them, maybe three. I don't know. But I'll bet he's going to have his biggest season he's ever had. I'll bet you he has it this year.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll bet he has 5 to 7,000 ounces. Who knows?
Holy. We got Brian Wild here in the chat from Bering Sea Gold.
All right.
Says Todd was
hey, Brian.
Vernon's boat.
Sorry about the yawn.
Brian, and Vernon's a good friend of mine, and Brian's there. And when I went on there, their boat was kind of listing a little bit. It was kind of like, and I was like,
only a little water. It'll be fine.
Maybe, I don't know. I remember I was going, Dad, you want to get on there? And he goes, nope. I'm going to stay up here on the dock, he says. We went down there and had a good time with those guys. Good dudes. They're fun.
Yeah, they are. We had Vernon up here about a month ago.
And he was funny. Yeah, he was hilarious. He was really funny. He was just great.
You remember when he fought got in a fight with that Scott Meisterheim?
Oh, yeah.
Scott hit him in the head with that glass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, Vernon was pissed. Vernon wasn't taking any shit, dude.
No.
This guy's about half his age. He didn't care. Vernon's like, you want to fight? Yeah, that was funny. No, I really like Vernon. Matter of fact, he called me the other day. I was at a wedding. I don't know what something's happening. I don't know if something's going on. I don't know if they got canceled or they're going. What'd you guys hear? Anything?
You'd have to talk to Brian. He knows a little more. He's boat guy for Discovery.
I know that Gold Rush Whitewater is canceled after this season, but
yeah. I'll tell you what, man, when I went in there and I didn't want to go over those cables that first year or two, and I flew down in there in a helicopter, and that guy, it was like this, the canyon walls, and he just brought that helicopter straight down, and we basically had one ski in the creek, and our blades felt like we were right off the cliff edges, And I took my son. I think I had Hudson, my other son, with me, and I had to go in there and film and kind of help seed the show. But Hudson was like, I was like, dude, we're in big danger doing this.
So
we
there
had
you go.
some old military pilot, and he wasn't playing. He got us in and out of there real good. So.
Oh, those old military. I flew when I got out of high school. I fought fire, and those old helitac guys were like Vietnam vet helicopter pilots, and they'd fly over to a cliff and set one skid down on and say, "Get out," and you're like, no, get out. I'm on a timer. Let's go.
Did he just tell you to get out, and then, or
Everyone, everyone except for the co-pilot, get out. Throw your gear and let's go.
Get that guy out of here. Get out. We're not
Go
listening.
stick your thumb out.
So Brian's saying there's no filming this summer and it's on hiatus for now.
Okay.
Wow.
So there you go.
Okay.
Bummer.
Sounds
So,
good.
is there anything you like to do besides gold prospecting and the other minerals you like to go find?
I really wanted to go get some diamonds, and then I almost went to Africa. My buddy had a diamond mine, a placer diamond mine, and he was starting to get some pretty good diamonds out of it. And I sent two of my guys on my team over there to film a teaser, and I never got the show greenlit, but yeah, man, it was really cool because they were getting green diamonds, and like it's kind of fun. It's almost similar, but when you have I have De Beers 20 minutes from my house knocking out 10 karat jewelry grade diamonds in a machine. So
Right.
like it's like it kind of takes all the allure out of it for me if they're being made down the street, So it's different. That kind of took the fun out of it for diamonds for me, but that's about it. I'd love to get another, like a rare earth. I'd love to get a magnet factory going again, but yeah, I don't know. I just like the gold and trying to stay married and trying to be a good dad. I still got my daughter. She walked by in her jujitsu outfit. She'll choke you out.
Yeah.
Twice a day she hits jujitsu. She's all over it.
You want to be their dad? Come on.
Yeah, I it's just hard when you're looking at the world and you're like, I really want to try to get my kids all established in their prospective businesses where I can help them at all. And we're just not there yet. We're in that beginning stages. They're in their early to mid 20s, and and then they're looking at the world and all the shit that's going on. And it's like, so to keep a stable place, a compound that they have a safe place to create. I don't want them going to college and all that crap. I mean, I went to 6 colleges, but they weren't teaching us how bad America is and how bad you are for being a white guy. I mean, that's stupid. I mean, we shouldn't be judged by the color of our skin, and we are being judged by the color of our skin. And it's like the whole point was, guys, let's stop doing that crap, So
let's be together and just deal with it,
Yeah.
You may have bigotry over here, and the same guy might have bigotry over here. And you know what? We'll all get along. We'll all just hang out. If you don't like me, then stay away from me. Blah, blah, blah. It's
United Kingdom. I don't care what they say. It's turning over. It's getting destroyed. Germany is dangerous. It's not Germany anymore. I was born in Frankfurt. It's not Germany anymore. They have let Muslim societies into these countries, and I'm telling you, they're not assimilating. They don't care to be German. They're just they're going to impose their will on these countries, and I'm telling you, they're going to be in deep trouble. And all it points to me is, guys, let's get our gold mining shit together, Let's get our teams. Let's figure it out.
Yes.
Let's get our spots. Let's keep sharing knowledge, and let's get our little minds going. Because maybe in the end, that's just something that we have that we can actually control. And I don't know. That's all I can think of, man. I'm no rocket scientist. So
I'll just put this out. We did kind of a teaser. Oh, sorry. Who did I talk over? Did I talk over you, Nick?
No.
Oh,
There's
I was just saying, we did a teaser for, I don't know if it was Discovery or who, what, where, when, and how, and they were talking, because we're not under anything now, to maybe go to Greenland. And
you
me,
are?
Nick, and Travis,
No, we were in
but
talks about it.
we weren't accepted. So I was just,
Who was
kind
it
of putting
for?
that out. You were saying teasers.
Who was it for?
I can give you this person's name.
Text it over or put it in the private chat.
Yeah.
There may be something in the works on that.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's all
Here,
hearsay. It's all rumors and hearsay.
I'll put it in private chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because if I touch my phone, I short bus out.
There's
it's in private chat.
Is that really the name of his media company?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yep. That's what we've dealt with. And
do they have anything out? Do they have any other?
I don't think so, man.
I don't know.
I used to play video games with a guy named Solid Snake.
Nope.
For like 2 years. You guys remember the Quake and Doom? Do you guys?
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the early Counter-Strike days.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike was so fun.
Computer. I got a gaming computer here because my son plays Counter-Strike, and he's trying to get me into it again. And I'm like, mouse and keyboard, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, I can get glimpses of like how I used to move.
Yeah,
and
remember.
And I'm like, oh, my brain and my hand died, and my brain is like, maybe I'm too old. I mean, I don't know. I shot a few guys the other night, but I'm trying to do stuff with my son that he likes to do, and I'm trying to get out of my own little world,
Your comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah, my bands, we're practicing, we're playing at the Sandy Mountain Festival, and trying to sing for over an hour straight is tricky, because some of the songs I sing are like, I picked these songs that were hard, and I'm like, geez, and then singing them live, and several of them in a row. So like I drink certain teas when I'm singing, and then I'm getting tips from real singers because I'm not a real live singer, but I've done it maybe 5 times live. And so like
what genre is your band?
What's that?
What genre is your band? Like rock or
my band's called Sandy Mule. You can see it on all the streaming, and then you can punch my name in on YouTube. So it's kind of rocky, kind of 90s rock, and then every once in a while I'll throw in like I sang like I Can Only Imagine, or I sing Sound of Silence, or but then I have years ago I sang an Aussie song, with Close My Eyes Forever with Lita Ford.
Lita Ford.
Yeah, and I brought in this Heidi Grisham, and she sang Lita Ford's part. And like, I said, listen, I'm going to sing this song, but I need to find the female part. And the first girl I brought in couldn't do it. And like, I'm singing with her. I'm like, nope, I can't do this. She can't carry her weight on this, her part. And like, so then I got in Heidi Grisham, and she killed it. Like, like Lita Ford came to town and asked her to open for her.
Oh, wow.
Like, so she and I closed my eyes forever. We made that and shot the video, and it's like got 8 or 9 million downloads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is your stuff free to download? Or okay. I was just
Yep. Just go to, I have a bunch of original songs. I got Sandy Mule on any of the platforms. And a lot of those are original songs that were written in the 90s by some of the guys in the band and former band members. And then but I'm playing at the Sandy Mountain Festival. If you're local, come or Portland area, come to it. It'll be in July. Soon as I do that, I don't know if I'm going to be up north before that or probably, and then come home for that. I don't know, or just go right up right after that. And then I want to film our first cleanups. I want to film setting the plan up, just lay out the creek. I got my drone up there. So drone the creek so that you guys can see how we're going to pull the pay. Andy will explain how we're going to truck it down to the plant, how we're going to run the plant, where we're going to put the plant. We're going to have water issues. We're going to have issues, right?
cool.
Yeah, there's just going to be, it's tight quarters, man. So we're talking a little creek. But if we can get good at these little tight creeks, that's,
then you're going to kill it.
I have millions. I have 100 miles of that shit that's offered to me.
Nice.
The big boys want these bigger pieces that have big paydays, whereas we can pick our way along, and get these creeks to have like that are tricky. And Andy's such a technical operator that he can see it. He sees it, and we've just made good moves, and we've made so many mistakes that you learn from everything you do. So like, I've seen him. We've done haul outs in places I didn't think a truck could fit. We back a truck in there, and he's able to get the pay in there, and we've pulled out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ounces out of these tight little creeks. And he's just learned. He learned a lot about mining in these little creeks. And so if those are what's being offered to us, and maybe we don't need the big dozer play, the D11 play, maybe we can deal with several years of these, smaller creeks. It's cheaper to mine. Maybe we just sit down there at Leota and Too Much Gold and pick our way along. But
it costs a lot less to run too.
It really would. Dang, I damn near can get a drop off the power line for the camp too, which would be.
I'll climb a power pole. I ain't scared.
All right, fellas, we good. Until next time, let me know, and then we'll get a little bit farther along. Think about maybe
we'll get in touch and we'll talk about a bunch of stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you guys can organize something and we can start doing some trips up. Once I feel good and I'm like, I don't want you guys to show up and we're not kicking ass, right? It'll be a lot funner when you see gold coming across the table. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be it'll be an experience that you're going to want to be part of, and sitting around the fire with Jack and Thurber. These are like guys that are 1 in a million, man. So
That would be great,
Yeah.
man.
Guys, I want
bucket list
tell you
just to
now.
see in mine
That's a
sites. That'd be
dream come
sweet.
true, man. For us.
Yeah, well, why don't we figure it out? Because I'm sure there's more guys like you guys that want to
Oh
do
yeah,
this. We got to
and
do it
even-
in a normal way.
Right.
So
and
we don't
even
get-
if there's not a big payday, you know what? It's the experience and digging and being with friends and, and sitting down at the fire at the end of the night, having a beer together or whatever, and just talking and laughing. Those are
what if
my
we're all
best
sitting there? What
experiences.
if we're sitting there and we whack into a pocket of gold that's like mind blowing?
That would be amazing.
That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. I
It'd
want
be
to
an
hit.
experience of a lifetime.
I want to hit that big. My biggest cleanup's like 130 ounces in one day.
I know you're killing us.
I want 130. I want 150 in one day, and
Yeah, that'd be wild.
you know what I mean. It can happen. It happens. It happens.
That'd be cool.
I'd like to
I
see
know.
That
1
would
ounce.
be amazing. But still, my thing is, the camaraderie and
Yeah.
just being together and, the BS around and stories around the fire are, I take away more than would be the gold.
Yeah.
I know my wife wants to go mining on her honeymoon, so that's a weekend. So I'm meeting the right woman.
That's
So,
pretty good.
Yeah.
I know. I don't
be a
think
good time
mine
to go.
does.
We're gonna
All
have
right,
to put up blinds because then they can have their time.
Yeah.
Right on, Todd.
Blessings, guys. Until the next
Yeah,
time.
man.
All
Thanks,
right,
Todd.
man.
I
Thank you
appreciate it.
very, very much for coming up.
Yeah. We'll see you.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
we'll
sounds
see you
good.
soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Get
you.
in contact with us. We'll talk about this stuff behind stage.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. See ya.
Later.
But
Right on. So there's legendary Todd Hoffman.
There
Man,
you go.
Awesome.
want to
very
thank
cool
him
stuff,
again
man.
for
Bye, Uncle
stopping
Jimmy.
by. Thank you everybody in chat for stopping by. We've been up
Yes.
to
Thank you
60
very
people,
much.
down to 12 people. Yeah, it's been great. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go up to the Yukon this summer. I think because
I'd love that. That would be
Yeah.
that's a dream come true.
So the Yukon is in Quebecistan, right?
So the Yukon is in
Just
Western
north of
Canada.
it.
Oh,
Just
Quebecistan.
north of
All right. Well,
And
we'll
yeah,
talk about that
so-
off stage.
exactly. But again, thank you to Todd for coming up. We got a glimpse into what he's working on right now. He's still got his awesome team. Next week is our final week of our interview series for the summer before we shut down because it's mining season now.
Yes.
As we've been talking about, us three boys here, Red Dirt Nation, the OGs, we're all meeting up next week in Montana. Woo woo! Here we go.
We might
we're
even
gonna
do a Red Dirt Nation video.
We might.
Because we have to remember and yell at ourselves to start
Well,
filming.
Supposed to be getting a new phone this week, so hopefully I'll be able to take some really cool photos. So
There you go.
got my free upgrade from Verizon this year.
Oh. Steve DIY Project needs a wrench. Sorry, I seen him
Oh. Yeah, he's
in
done
chat a
several.
bunch tonight, so I didn't want to interrupt anybody. But
No, for sure. Next week on our last interview is with another reality TV star who is currently on Gold Rush Whitewater. Mr. Carlos Menor is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about some of the stuff that's been happening this season. There's only 3 episodes out so far, so if you haven't watched it, get over to Discovery and watch Whitewater. You know, it's they're in some hairy stuff, man, and it's some really rough water.
It's
It's
insane this year.
Carlos. Carlos is solid. He is. It's going
He
to
is
be a
a
great
solid dude.
live. You know, I'm really excited for it. And then, yeah, I don't know what the live stream for Monday night's going to look like in the summer, but we'll figure
We
that
could
out.
go live from
See what
Linton's Bar.
happens. We'll see what happens.
We'll figure that out. as
Steve
it
needs a
comes.
wrench
Anyways,
when you get a
Right.
chance.
yeah,
Yep.
I'll get to it. Anyways,
Sorry.
who joined? Oh, big movie fan. How you doing?
Oh.
No. It's just we've been live for 2 hours already. So,
Wow. Yeah.
you know, an
Jody
hour and 6 minutes.
Genealogy. Cool. Thank you.
Jody Genealogy. Anyways, we're gonna hit that outro. Thanks for joining. Have a safe week. We will see you next week. With that, anybody want to say anything? Goodbye. That's it.
Thanks for coming, y'all. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
we had a
Yes,
great
thank
time.
you
Good week.
very much for coming. There's more
That's
to
awesome.
come.
Respect, y'all.